Welcome to Kindly Neurodivergent with Kay. The experiences we discuss on this show are for educational purposes only. Please do not substitute them for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And if you notice any pauses during this episode, we ask you to keep listening. Sometimes, someone's processing their thoughts or it's part of the natural flow of conversation. Today I have Bryn Oliver with me. She will be discussing living with cerebral palsy. Welcome, Bryn.
Thank you for having me, Kayla.
Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Bryn. Um, I am 23 years old. Um, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of hold on, 5 months. Um, and I just really want to make a difference in other people's lives. That I've been that my experience is gonna change other people's minds and other than me.
I was diagnosed at age of 1.
That's
What
great.
was it like growing up with cerebral palsy?
So growing up with CP was not just my normal. It was being diagnosed at 5 months after two family friends who were nurses noticed that I wasn't using my left arm and left leg the way I should have been. A neurologist confirmed that I had a stroke in my motor cortex of my brain. And that caused what is called left hemiplegia. The left side of my body has been increased in muscle tone, meaning it's constantly too tight. From that point on, therapy was part of my life. Occupational, physical therapy, constant stretching, and I started crawling at 12 months and walking at 18 months. Every activity I tried growing up was chosen at least partly because it helped me move, balance, and stretch. I started therapy so early that today most people don't even realize I have a disability. That early intervention made an enormous difference, but it didn't make things easy. It just changed what hard looked like.
Did you have any speech or feeding difficulties?
No, I did not.
When did you realize you were different from other kids?
Probably around elementary school. I'm not really sure any earlier than that. When gym class came a thing back in the day. Um, I walk on my toes on my left foot, and kids notice everything, of course. Um, the bullying just started there and honestly continued through high school. I was different in ways people
Did you
could
have
see,
big?
that made me a target. Um, I also had accommodations for a reading comprehension disability, which came different directly from the CP from the brain damage.
Did you have
This,
big feelings?
yes, I did. I do have big feelings. So most of everything that I realize comes a lot harder on me just because of having all of these other disabilities.
How did you cope with bullying so young?
It just ended up, I kind of kept it all the way through until now, and I'm now working through it with a therapist. So I'm still getting through a lot of it.
Who helped support and encourage you?
Um, can you repeat the question again?
Who helped support and encourage you?
So my parents and there's a lot of people that helped and support me. Um, I'll try to name all of them, but if not, that's okay. My parents, first and foremost, they started me in therapy and as an infant drove me to every session, um, and signed me up for every activity that might help. Um, and if it wasn't for those two nurses that who noticed my first diagnosis at 5 months, they saw I wasn't using my left arm. Without them catching it early, things could have looked a lot differently. Um, my grandparents were also a huge part of it too. They stepped in and babysat me when my mom and my dad couldn't. And that kind of steady, relatable support matters more than people realize. Having my friends and family more broadly, honestly, I wouldn't be here if they without their support. Having people around you just kind of who you just show up, no matter what, makes all the difference. Charlie, who's my swim coach and now my boss, has been incredibly important. He saw what I was capable of in the water and pushed me in the right ways. The kind of belief from someone respect changes of how you see yourself. And the entire Summit Adaptive community, the coaches, the volunteers, the athletes, they welcomed me in, believed in me, and eventually gave me the chance to give back as a coach myself. The whole program really changed my life. More recently, Karen Cook, the director of the Summit Adaptive Program, who nominated for my award from Move United, and Keith Gable, a Paralympic medalist snowboarder, who presented me the award and had dinner with us and showed us his medals. Those moments reminded me that people who believe in you can completely change your trajectory.
Completely agree. Was there a moment you decided not to let cerebral palsy stop you?
Not sure really if there was one single moment. It was more like 100 small decisions. Every time I showed up to therapy, every time I tried something new, every time I failed a test and signed up to try again. But if I really had to pick one, it was the lifeguard test. I had failed more than once, and at some point, I had to decide if this was something I wanted badly enough to keep trying. My parents and therapists always had shown up for me, drove me to every session, and believed it was worth it. I owned it to myself to keep going, and the snowboarding arc is really the same story on a mountain, starting from zero in 2022 and becoming a lead coach a few years later. I'd also say CP really has never stopped me. It shaped me how I move through the world. There's a difference.
Congratulations about the accomplishment.
Thank you.
Was it hard physically?
Yes. When I did it the first time, yes, it was challenging. But once I got up the strength and I was able to persevere through all of the struggles, I put my mind to it and I did it.
How has cerebral palsy shaped who you are today?
Shaped everything. CP led me to two things I love most, swimming and snowboarding. I might have never found either if I hadn't been searching for the activities that worked for my body. The water helps me reduce muscle tone, so swimming felt freeing in the way nothing else did. And snowboarding through the adaptive program introduced me to a whole community of people with disabilities that has become deeply meaningfully to me. What started as therapy became generally passion, and that passion turned into something bigger. Wanting to use my story to inspire others going through the something similar.
I horseback ride and like the pool too.
I used to horseback ride too. Didn't like it as much as I do swimming and snowboarding though.
What do you wish people understood about cerebral palsy?
Well, I wish people understood that CP looks different in every single person, just like you and me. Mine is on my left side of my body, only left hemiplegia, which increases muscle tone and tightness, not paralysis. Someone else might have it on both sides or might be affected their speech or vision. Really is an umbrella term over a huge range of experiences. It caused by brain damage, in my case, a stroke in the motor cortex, and that damage can cause other things too, like seizures or learning differences. That's why I also have a reading comprehension disability growing up. It's all connected, and early intervention matters enormously. I started therapy as an infant, and that's a big reason why most people don't realize that I have a disability today. Not everyone gets that access, and I think about that. The last thing, just ask questions instead of staring or assuming. Most people with disabilities would rather explain than be pitied or ignored.
It's crazy how people still assume.
Yes, it does.
Has your disability ever become a strength?
Well, Kayla, yes, it has. This is a question I find actually most interesting when you sent me this. Swimming is ideal for someone with high muscle tone because the water helps reduce tightness. So, the first thing that makes my body challenging because one of the reasons I found a sport I love and am generally good at. Coaching adaptive sport is another one. I can teach somebody with a disability how to snowboard in a way most coaches can't. I understand from the inside what it feels like when your body doesn't respond the way you expect. The empathy is real and comes directly from my experience. The United Human Achievement Award I received in October 2025 recognize exactly that. The idea of turning a challenge into a contribution and broadly persistence. I've had to work for things that came easily to other people my whole life. That's built in something in me that I generally value, and it shows up in everything I do.
I agree with you about the emphatic part other people may not understand.
Yes, it truly is something.
What keeps you going on hard days?
Um, Honestly, goals. My goals have changed who I am in a wholly different thing. Having something specific I'm working towards, whether it's the lifeguarding cert back in 2021, linking turns on a snowboard, which I have almost have achieved this winter, or finishing my associate's degree in July. Right now, I am trying to pursue my bachelor's degree, and in the process of building a business creating powered apps and websites. Having multiple things I'm building towards keeps me moving forward. The people around me matter too, my parents, the community at the pool and the mountain, the kids I work with, and always keep in the back of my mind the version of me that kept going back to taking that lifeguard test. If that worked out, I could usually find a way through whatever is in front of me.
Mm.
You use any mobility devices, including braces?
So I used to, when I was 5 months, I went to um, Hanger, which is a clinic for orthotics, and I used orthotics all the way straight through until high school, and then I was casted on my left side, which corrected my toe walking to the point where I can just kind of put my foot down when I think about it, or when I really truly am working on something. I just never really, and then I have inserts for my shoe, just kind of like orthotics, but nothing that I wear anymore that kind of helps correct everything.
I am familiar with orthotics and hanger.
Yes, it's been a big part of my life and probably yours too.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to others facing challenges?
Well, first thing your body or mind can do, and go deep on it. Doesn't matter. I spent a lot of energy early on trying to do things the same way everyone else did. Swimming changed everything because it something I could do on my own terms, and it turned out something I loved.
Mm.
Don't expect early support if you can get it. Don't skip on early support if you can get it. Starting therapy as an infant made an enormous difference for me. Whatever the challenge, physical, emotional, learning, getting help early matters. I recognize not everyone has access, which is part of why I want to share my story. Finding your people, I say that a lot to specific groups of community that I connect with. The swim center community, the Summit Adaptive Program, the relationships has changed my path. I'm hoping to attend the ski spectacular in Breckenridge in 2026 of December, the largest adaptive ski event in the country, and keep being part of that world. You don't have to figure out everything out alone.
No. Oh, no.
Thank you for joining me.